I already opened these and took the samples out, but I wanted to come back and show you what I got, what I have. So, from Sprouts, ground chuck or ground beef chuck and brisket patties, right? 80% lean and 20% fat. Now, here it is right here. I already took a sample out, which you can see right here, part of it, and I baggied the rest, to eat later. We'll see. So since the Big Mac from McDonald's is cooked, I went ahead and cooked the 80% lean and 20% fat sample. So here we go. And just like before, guys, I'm going to do my best here to shave a sample off of this ground chuck. That this is also from the butcher. And looking for just 1 drop of distilled water. Break it up a little bit so we can see through the pattern here with my LED underneath the scope. Bubbles here, 45 degree, slap it down there like that. Okay, that's ready for the microscope. So we're starting this examination of a standard 80/20 ground chuck sample. We're going to begin this at 40 times magnification. So at this lower power, the primary observation is a lack of structural homogeneity. As you can see, the field is dominated by large clusters of lipid droplets. These lipids appear as translucent spherical globules, vary in size. You can see them all over the screen if you look hard. In the ground meat matrix, these fats are no longer contained. As we transition towards a 100 times magnification, focus remains on the interstitial spaces. In whole muscle tissues, we would typically observe clear fascicles, bundles of muscle fibers held together by a paramecium. Here, however, the mechanical grinding process has decimated that architecture. What remains are fragmented protein islands surrounded by a sea of rendered lipids. The light refraction through these fat globules creates a high degree of spherical aberration, making it very difficult to pin down a single focal plane. So increasing the resolution to 100 times, we look for the presence of sarcomeres or striations. Those are the microscopic repeating units of the muscle fibers, you guys. So in this specific sample of 80% lean chuck, those striations are almost entirely absent. The lean portions appear as dark, amorphous masses. This lack of defined fiber indicates that the protein has been heavily worked during processing, resulting in a loss of parallel alignment found in intact skeletal muscle. Finally, we observe a darker irregular debris. These are likely bits of connective tissue such as collagen and elastin, which are tougher than muscle fiber and often survive the grinding process in larger chunks. The overall cellular matrix is disorganized, representing a suspension of denatured protein and free-floating fats, rather than a cohesive biological tissue. This concludes a microscopic survey of the 80/20 chuck at these power levels. Let's move on to the grass-fed. Now this one, the open package, is the 100% grass-fed, all natural from Sprouts, right? And here is this sample here. This is the I put in a bag already because I took a sample out. But this is the 100% grass-fed. And so yeah, there you go. I just wanted to show you guys and be upfront and total disclosure. Okay, guys, let's get to the microscope. I bought this from Sprouts. It's a local market here in town where it's noted for really good food. You pay more, of course. You always have to pay more to eat better, right? Which should not be the case, but it is. And it's sad that we have to actually pay more to stay healthy. So yeah, it should be a stable price for everybody. I bought a brand new 4K microscope camera. So for those of you watching on the 4K TV, this will be much more clear than my 1080. So apologize for not doing this earlier, but because I know I looked on the analytics for my YouTube and 80% of my viewers watch from a TV, which is great. You can see a lot from a TV. So we were analyzing a sample of grass-fed ground chuck, starting at 40 times magnification. So immediately, you guys, there was a visible shift in the cellular landscape compared to a conventional grain-fed sample. While the lipid droplets are still present, they appear more tightly integrated into the protein matrix. The pooling of fat is less chaotic. So at this lower power, we can observe the higher concentration of pigments, specifically beta-carotene, which often gives grass-fed lipids a slightly different refractive index under the light source of the microscope. So moving through the slide at 40 times, the density of the lean tissue is more apparent. So grass-fed cattle often have a higher ratio of lean muscle to intramuscular fat. And at this magnification, the protein clusters appear more opaque and cohesive. So the interstitial spaces, while still containing free-floating fats from the grinding process, they show a more complex network of connective tissues. This baseline scan sets the stage for a closer look at the fiber integrity as we prepare to transition to a higher magnification. Increasing the power to 100 times magnification, we focus on the fine structure of the protein islands. Even in a ground state, grass-fed samples frequently retain more recognizable skeletal muscle characteristics. So we're looking at for the elongated shapes of individual myocytes. At this level, the lipid droplets appear smaller and more evenly distributed. The distribution suggests a different fatty acid profile, specifically a higher ratio of omega-3 to omega-6, which can affect the physical viscosity and appearance of the fats under the lens. So at the 100 times, look for the faint parallel lines of sarcomeres. While the mechanical grinding has still caused big-time disruption, the protein masses in the grass-fed sample show a higher resistance to fragmentation. So the dark, irregular shapes are concentrated bundles of actin and myosin. We also note the presence of darker, tougher collagen fibers that appear as distinct, stringy structures. This increased structural complexity is a direct result of the animal's diet and activity level. So, you guys, this concludes our 100 times examination of the grass-fed ground chuck. Now we're moving over to the Golden Arches McDonald's. Okay, so here's the Big Mac. Show you guys, got it today to do the testing here. So let's open it up. 12 beef patties. Yeah, one there. Pickles. Here's the second patty. Onions, cheese, and all that underneath. I guess that's the what, special sauce. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. If you're hungry and this is all you have, then go for it. I used to love these things. Okay, so let me I'm gonna take a little sample off of this, you guys. Okay, I really need to wash it off first, but I want a clean sample with no dressing on it. So my hands are sterile. I'm gonna take this piece right here. What's inside of it? See it? Hopefully, it's not blurry. I'm using my phone this time to record the slide preps. Okay, so here's that sample I have from the first patty. Hopefully you guys can see it. Cut just a little bit of piece out of here. You know, slide prep is very important. I mean, if you're showing especially an audience like you, it needs to be legit. You know, it needs to be stable. It needs to have a stable environment, I mean. And also that I take my time doing this. Okay, I'm going to add a drop of distilled water, and it'll break up a little bit better so I can see it under the scope. So what I'm looking for is like a milky substance, which means if it's milky, I can see all kinds of different things in there broken up, you know, without messing up the meat fibers and the striations too much. So it's looking pretty good now. So this is McDonald's. This is my third sample. And I think it's time ready for a cover slip. Cover slip, be careful of the air bubbles. So I usually start on a 45 and I slowly lower it down like that. And there is this slide ready for the microscope for McDonald's. So here we are with the Golden Arches. We're a microscopic survey of the Big Mac beef patty. We're starting out at 40 times magnification, and immediately the surface topography is immediately distinct from the raw ground chuck examined in the previous slide. Because this is a cooked sample, the protein structure has undergone denaturalization. The heat has caused the muscle fibers to coagulate, resulting in a more compact, dense matrix. So at 40 times, we see a complex interplay of charred protein surfaces and residual lipids that have been trapped within the cooked structure itself. As I scan the slide, notice a lack of large, distinct fat globules. The cooking process renders out a significant portion of the intramuscular fat, leaving behind microscopic voids and a more uniform textured surface. There's also the presence of non-meat additives typically found in fast food production. These appear as irregular, translucent particles scattered throughout the beef matrix.
At this lower power, the sample shows a high level of mechanical processing required to achieve the consistent patty texture characteristic of the brand. So transitioning to 100 times magnification, we can see the effects of the Maillard reaction on a cellular level. The darker brown regions represent the caramelization of sugars and amino acids on the patty surface. The muscle fibers are tightly packed and lack the clear definition of raw tissue. We are observing the results of high heat searing, which creates a protective crust, while the interior remains a disorganized suspension of processed protein and seasoning. So at 100 times magnification, we note the presence of small crystalline structures and fine particulate matter, likely salt and other shelf-stabilizing ingredients. The overall composition is a highly engineered biological material designed for texture and consistency rather than structural integrity. So this concludes our minute and 45 analysis of the Golden Arches, and I got the side-by-side comparison next. So here it comes. So these three look very different. Starting from left to right, grass-fed beef shows a looser, more natural structure. The 80-20 ground beef in the middle starts to look more compact, but the McDonald's patty loses that structure completely. It's just broken down. Whether it's grass-fed or conventional, the slides tell the story. Don't take my word for it. Look at the data. Oh, check out this video to see if McDonald's fillet of fish is actually real. I'll see you under the lens for the next one. Take care of yourself.